As you're doing that, I do want to show you wonderful people there the proper grip of the chef's knife. Now, watch carefully. There are, I start it this way, 3 fingers around the handle with my middle finger up against the finger guard right here. Not a firm grip. That the last thing you want to do is grip this tightly. And then you place your thumb on top, and then you place your index finger on the other side, but all of this is gently done. Again, that's something you really need to avoid. We'll start the process of the onion the same way we did the chorizo, but I raised my knife higher. Notice I'm not doing this. I'm not having the tip of the knife on the board, right, because that is stressful. I feel the muscles on my side pulling. What we're going to do is place it here, start that long stroke, and if I need to, I've come to the end, I haven't gotten it cut, I'll do a second stroke. So now we have sliced off the stem end. Place it flat side down. Right, once you master this, you're going to be surprised. No tears, and evenly cut. We place it stem side down, root side up. Take your knife, place it here, and we're going to do that same stroke. Done, beautifully done. No effort. I already have one peeled, so I won't show you, although what you can readily do is just do this with your hands like this. Take off the peel.
And Norman, while you're starting to cut that onion, I've got my celery, carrot, and celery, onion, and pepper.
No
so
carrot.
We didn't cut any carrots up, did we?
I didn't cut any carrots.
I'm going to add my saffron. Now, saffron is a very nice ingredient. It takes 14,000 of these little threads to make 1 ounce of saffron.
It's the most expensive spice.
Saffron is the most expensive spice in the world. These are actually the little stamen of a wild crocus flower. There are approximately 3 stamen in each crocus, and they have to be hand-picked and dried. So that's what adds to the cost even more. So I'm going to add this very, very aromatic spice. I'm going to add our saffron in. Now, we buy it here in the school in a 1 ounce package. Pretty expensive. So
that's 1 ounce.
That's 1 ounce.
Show that bag.
So this is approximately 14,000 of those little stamen that are hand-picked.
That's more than $1.50, right?
More than $1.50.
Right.
So think about the labor involved in gaining 1 ounce of saffron. Now I'm also going to add my rice, and we're going to toast that rice around a bit.
David, I don't recall cutting any rice.
Nope, we didn't chop any rice. Good. And our tomato. You did do the tomato.
I did the tomato.
So why don't you go back to onion, and I'll keep this toasting nicely.
You are going to get 2 techniques for the price of 1, because what we do to the onion now is the same way you would slice a bagel. You put your bagel, in this case the onion, at the edge of your board here. You take your knife, and instead of holding it this way, you're going to turn it like this, and with a few strokes. Now notice, I'm just pushing forward. I'm trying not to push this way. No lateral pushing, because that's stressful. There are 3 more steps to go to get wonderfully and evenly diced onion. Start here. Push the knife ahead of you. Watch it go through the onion. Now, pull the knife back, make another cut, and another, and stop. Everything you've seen thus far has involved pushing the knife ahead of you this way. But now we have to cut the onion from the root end. Notice it's still attached from the root end to the stem end. And you can't do that by pushing, because if you do that, it's going to fall apart. You'll get slices. So here's what you do. You raise your knife like this, and you start. I'll do it without cutting the onion first. You'll see. You start this process of raising it. It's placed on the onion. You start bringing it towards you and down, and you end up by raising the handle to get the tip through it. And that's what it looks like. Now
so again, we have that continuous motion.
It's always
we're just going backwards.
Yes. In other words, I never come to a full stop. I don't stop here. That's my follow-through, and as soon as I'm off the board, I start the motion forward again to do the next backward cut.
Okay. So really, this we could have this yoga movement.
It is yoga. It is yoga. This is the Zen of onion.
You know I'm only giving you a hard time.
Yeah. Did you say yogurt?
Yoga.
Oh, yoga. Watch, please. Knife starts here. I lost a little piece there. Now we pull it again. It's coming apart. And David, I'm going to ask you to put your hand back here.
I think he gets a free massage every time we do this.
Notice what happens as soon as I start by pressing down. Feel that?
Feel the tightness.
Tightness. Nothing.
And this is why when people say, how can you say relieving stress comes by cooking? Always. I say, when I'm stressed, I cook.
Cook.
Helps me relieve the stress.
Now you turn this around. So we started this way. We turned it this way. The root is away from you. Now you turn it back to this bagel position, and you go forward again now. Watch how this magically dices itself.
Beautiful. But you know, I don't hear any of that. I'm going to take this old knife.
You
and
don't
show
hear this.
and I don't hear that crunching, and I don't hear like the guys do on television.
You want me to comment on that? You're baiting me. Watch. We're doing this on television, and it's beautifully done. That's your diced onion. No tears, no liquid. You did not crush this.
Just a more fluid movement.
It's a more fluid movement. And
what I'm going to do now is, now that we have this rice toasted up nicely, we have our chicken stock. I'm going to add the chicken stock to our pan. Little bit of a steam. We can shut our fan down at this point.
Starting to look good.
Starting to color up nicely
Yes.
from that saffron.
Yes. By the way, may I just make a comment about saffron?
Absolutely.
You need to be very sparing with saffron.
Yes.
It can overpower a dish very quickly. You'll get this kind of medicinal taste to your dish, which is exactly what you don't want.
I have some clams, some mussels, and some shrimp. And we just scatter those in at this point. We're going to bring that to a simmer.
Yep.
And I remember when I owned my own Italian grocery store, I came in one day and there was all this screaming. And my dad was there, and the spice man was there replenishing the spices. And my father was saying, "You're cheating him, you're cheating him." And I said, "Dad, what's wrong?" And he said, "Look at this." He held up the jar of saffron, and all the other spice jars are filled right to the top. And of course, the saffron has 20 little threads in the bottom. And my father's saying, $6 for this? What are you, crazy?
Yes, $6.
And wait, let's explain. But saffron is one of the most expensive spices, and we do use it sparingly. As you said, it can be very, very overpowering.
I get asked about this most often. How do you dice that pepper? Well, it's fun to do. Watch. Same grip on the knife. When I have a chef's knife in my hand, this is the only grip I use. I will never put my finger on top here or hold it like this. Well, there are maybe some occasions when I'll show you a little bit later, but 99% of the time is this. Watch. You start by slicing off the top of the pepper, that same stroke. We're going to show you a different stroke when we get to celery, but here I'm starting right on the top and through, cut off the back. Now, that pod is inside.
Yes.
If you take...
And all the seeds.
All the seeds, but the seeds are attached to the pod.
Yes.
Cut this way, and then just work this knife around like this. Right? And that takes out the whole pod.
That's amazing.
There's your pepper.
I cut a hole in the top, and I get my son, because he has little hands,
to dig
there. Out the seeds.
Yes. My cats can't do this, so they're not fully trained. Now, it's obviously too late to make stuffed pepper.
Yes.
But here's how we got the diced pepper. I now take this and cut it into long strips. You have to know what size dice you want. You want half-inch dice, you're going to cut half-inch strips.
Okay.
So I'll cut different sizes, as you see. Now, I'm doing something slightly different now. I've got the knife with the tip on the board, and I lower it, and I come down like that, and I bring it back and do this. It's different from what we did before, but very efficient. You've got your strips done. You now take your strips, and you turn them around, and now, for this little bit, and this low, you come to the back of the knife. This is a nice weighty knife. Watch how easy this is. No weight, no effort.